Hello everyone, how's it going? My name is Sina and I'm going to be your programming teacher for the next couple of videos. I hope you will find these series beneficial. Before we start going through these stuff and before we start actually learning the different concepts in programming, I thought it might be a good idea to explain why I'm making another Java tutorial, given that there are there's so many Java tutorials on YouTube, on the internet, and yeah, like literally why am I doing this? Well, I think one of the main reasons is that, I was a computer science student and my brother was one as well. I was one of those overachievers, and my brother, I guess he was kind of, you could say he was an average student. He was definitely good enough to be an above average, but for some reasons, which I will explain, which are my reasons for teaching these, he ended up really disliking computer science, really not wanting to program anymore and code anymore. And over the years, when I thought more about this and when I studied at school and when I was active in all these student clubs and stuff, I noticed that yeah, faculties actually seem to prioritize some students and not give a damn about the others. Specifically, I came across some research. These numbers are mine. I'm saying faculties focus on top 20% and bottom 20%, leaving the middle 60% on their own. So I stand by those numbers. I might be wrong. Those numbers are mostly from, I guess, my faculties and the few faculties that I got to study. But I found some research which said these two researchers observed that CS educators are more aware of their top and bottom students than they are of their average students, giving educators a biased perception of their students' abilities. This is a research in CER, Computational Education Research, and it kind of proves that there's no such a thing as geek gene. It's not like some people are born programmers and some people aren't, and that the faculties shouldn't be using this as an excuse or social defense to say, oh yeah, some people are just meant to get A, some people are just meant to get B and C, and therefore we just shouldn't do anything about it, and it's just it's nature and it's gonna be as it is. No, the truth is that's just nonsense. I make these videos because I care about your confidence. If you are a computer science student and somehow you found this video, there's a chance you couldn't learn programming on your own or within the environment of your class. So I want you to know that I care about you. I care about your confidence. I don't want you to feel insecure. I don't want you to feel that you're constantly left behind, that you're not good enough, that others might be better than you. I'm making these videos because, yeah, I don't want you to have imposter syndrome. And I think there are a lot of evidence to show that if you put your time and effort, the time and effort that you're putting in, if you're doing it in the right way, if you're getting the right supervision and guidance, you can actually, yeah, I'm not highlighting these two for no reason. If you're if you're putting time and effort in learning this thing, you can get the result. And if you're not getting good results, it's not because you suck. It's because the system is messed up. It's because your faculty education is just not optimized for you, and it might be for a bunch of other reasons. Maybe because you're feeling insecure and you can no longer focus on learning things at your own pace. You're comparing yourself. You're thinking, oh, maybe computer science isn't for me, and blah 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 blah. Anyway, I'm making this for you. Now, you may be, somebody who is not a computer science student. So what? Should you stop watching these? No. This video can be perfectly great for you guys and gals as well. As long as you think if you don't know enough about programming, or if you know nothing about programming, then yeah, definitely this video could be helpful. The reason I say, middle 60% of CS students is because, well, when I'm teaching, I kind of imagine the audience that I have are CS students. Those are the people I really know. For 3 years, I managed a student club here, and we really focus on those students. So that's a perspective I really understand, and that's the sort of impact I want to have for those people. So, but again, if you are not a computer science student, it's totally all right. Comment on my videos if I'm being too biased at times, or yeah. So how am I going to do this? I guess I'm saying a lot of things. I'm saying that the entire CS education sucks, and I'm also saying that I want to fix that for you. How the hell am I going to deliver? Can I deliver actually? I don't know, but I want to try. So the way that I have in mind is that instead of just teaching you black and white concepts in a one-way manner, I want to teach you I want you to learn how to learn. So that by going through my course, by watching these videos, at some point you'll be able to pick up any new programming language or framework or any new technology in a weekend. So I'm not just planning to teach you Java, just being able to learn how to input output like that. No, I want you to learn it properly, and I want you to be able to learn how to learn. And the next thing is I want you to understand and connect deeply with the purpose of the things that you're doing in this Java programming. Now, I don't mean that I want to tell you all the details in the world about everything in Java, because honestly, I don't know everything about it. I don't think anybody does. I don't think we need to. Life is like literally too short for us to know everything about everything. So sure, we're gonna be learning selected things that matter, but in learning those things, I want you to be confident about like the way you understand them. I want you to be able to think about them, to ask good questions about them, to kind of explain them when if somebody asks you. Another thing that I want you to take away from this entire course is that I want you to be able to, I mean, this is something that you will learn very early on in my teaching. I wouldn't say it's like a major takeaway, because it's something that you can't live with after some point, but early on it's going to be something that you'll learn. You will learn to think like a compiler, think like a machine. Now, why is this helpful? Well, programming is the idea of, it's not about you solving a problem, it's about you teaching a machine or instructing a machine to solve a problem. So the machine is solving the problem. All you're doing is you're instructing the machine. So if you want to communicate with the computer to solve some problem on your behalf, you need to understand how it operates and how it thinks. But that may sound too philosophical. Practically, what it means is that when you know how the compiler executes instructions, you can predict the result of your code before you run the code. And that's very helpful, because when you keep predicting whatever you write before you run it, so you write some piece of code, you predict, and then you run, and you compare the expectation versus reality. And when you keep doing this enough, at some point you'll be able to write a code that you're fairly confident is gonna work. Of course, you may have bugs and stuff in your code at some point, but that's for another day. And yeah, so that's a different thing. So the last thing I want you to learn, last but not least, is learning to build, not just software, but also confidence. What does confidence mean in the context of learning to code? Well, to me, it means that I think every time you put time and effort into learning programming, but you fail to get results, you lose some confidence. Because you look at yourself and say, hey, I mean, what the hell? I could spend, when I studied mathematics, I studied physics and chemistry and etc. Whenever I put in some time, I could get the results. But here I am with programming, I'm doing my best and it just doesn't work. And my friends are good at translating problem statements into code, and I just have no idea where to start. I don't understand how they think, blah, blah, and things like that. So I think that's normal, by the way. It's normal, don't worry about it if that's what you think. And one of the things I want to do is I want to help you build confidence. I don't want you to do that by, I'm not going to sugarcoat stuff. I don't want to throw like random motivational talk. No, I want to give you confidence by, I guess, making sure on one hand you can take charge of your own education. I want you to help you, I want to help you learn stuff. On the other hand, I want to make you conscious about some problems and flaws in the systems around you that are totally out of your control, but are making you feel that you're not good enough. What I mean by that, like one of it is the idea of geek gene. It's not your fault that your faculties are under-optimized and your education is under-optimized, and it's not your fault that they're focusing on some other people and not you. So I want you to be aware of these things, and these will give you confidence. I will also tell you a lot about how to deal with imposter syndrome, how to, I guess, take your time, how to learn at your own pace, how to stop comparing yourself with others. And I'm a nerd, you can see. I like reading research and showing you random things from books, from stuff to hopefully help you learn better. With all of that said, in case you want to know like what are the things you're going to learn and how, this is the curriculum that I have in mind. In part one, we're just going to go forward like a basic university lectures, variables, data types, and I've included some extra things that you may not learn at uni. But yeah, pretty basic. Random numbers, input, outputs, understanding errors, if else, loops. And from part two onwards, we're going to learn the last things first. So instead of just going forward and learning the small components, instead of learning all the small components and then putting the pieces together to understand object-oriented programming, once you finish some of these fundamentals, we will start by talking about object-oriented, talk about implementation, talk about interface, and then come all the way down back to methods and stuff. So yeah, I'm quite excited about this course, and it's been 3 years since I last recorded an educational computer science video, but the last one that they made got a lot of comments, and even now, like every year, whenever final exams are coming up, people find it super helpful. They post very nice comments. So I'm making this really hoping that it can help you as well. So if it does, or if you think it can be better at any point, please do comment, please do communicate with me. And if it helps you, yeah, subscribe and like. Looking forward to learning with you and helping you take charge of your computer science education. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you.